Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, Art of Magic. And in this episode, we're going to talk about something very, very important, and it's all about your attitude. That's right, we're talking to you about your attitude. Stick around and find out what I'm talking about. Welcome to the channel. This is episode number 5. Thanks for joining us. If you have not seen any of the other episodes, after this one, you may want to go back and take a look and see what I've talked about, what we've discussed in the past already. In this episode, we're talking all about your attitude. That's right, your attitude. One of my favorite stories is about a gentleman named Howard Thurston. Howard Thurston, before his shows, would be behind stage. Curtains are closed. He would take a peek through the curtain and he would look right through and he would say to himself, I love you. 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 And I love you. What he's doing is he's getting his mindset into a very positive attitude. And this is what we are going to discuss in this episode, is all about your attitude. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of examples about how I use my attitude or an attitude adjustment before my performances. Many years ago, I was working at the dinner theater Magic Island. Worked there for 12 years, and sometimes, I got to be honest with you, after a while, it becomes repetitive. You're there every weekend doing multiple shows a night. Although I really enjoyed my time there, sometimes it became a chore. I would feel, I got to work tonight. I'm cutting the grass all day, working in the yard, spent time with my family, my kids, that kind of thing, a lot of responsibilities. And now I'm going to be up till 2 o'clock in the morning performing magic for all these people. Now, what I have to remember is that these people are coming out and they're paying a lot of money to see me, paying a lot of money to see really good magic. So I would have to adjust my attitude, get out of this mindset of, I really don't want to go. So what I would do is I would crank up the radio, and in my 45-minute commute to the club, I would listen to some real high energy music, music I really enjoy. It would put me in a different mindset. And in my mind, I would think, I'm not going to let these people down. They're spending a lot of money. They're going to see my best. And I would try to keep this mindset throughout multiple shows. So the first show would have the same energy as the very last show of the evening. Okay, let's talk about a scenario that happens quite frequently. I get hired to perform my family magic shows for a one-year-old birthday party. That's right. And what happens in these cases, oftentimes it's usually the Indian family, the Indian culture. They have this giant, huge party for their 1-year-old. And my job is there to entertain all the children that attend these events. And so what often happens is I show up, there's like 300 to 400 people in a giant meeting hall. Everything's decorated, looks fantastic, big, huge stage. And the host greets me at the door and says, "Great, you must be the magician." "Yes, I'm Jamie." "Good, we're going to place you in the corner over there, and we're going to get all the children, and they will sit in front of you, and then you can perform your little show for them." So what am I hearing? I'm ready to perform for the entire group. My shows are family friendly, and here I am being stuck in the corner, being told that basically I'm going to be the babysitter for the children. And that happens pretty often in those situations. Now, I try to inform the customer ahead of time that my shows are family friendly and are designed for family audiences, so that everyone, from the small kids to the adults, will enjoy it just as much. But what often happens in these situations is it's going to be like herding cats to get everyone to sit down, stop talking, and pay attention to me. So what I've done is I've already accepted in my mind, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm the high-priced babysitter being stuck in the corner. But if I already accept that situation and I smile and I already acknowledge what I'm going to have to do, I know the circumstances, I set up my sound system, I get everything in the corner, I perform as if those 50 children are the only people in my audience. I entertain them as if they are the only people in that whole room. And then what happens is the energy I creates some wonder from the adults, and I find the adults start setting up chairs, coming closer to see my performance. And pretty soon I'll have, if not the entire room, almost the entire room watching my show from that corner. A couple of days ago on a Thursday night, I performed at a bar, and I got a phone call. This guy who's a musician says, "Hey, we're showcasing different talent. We think it would be fantastic if you can come out, perform your magic for us. It would be really great." And since I wasn't doing anything, I saw this as an opportunity for me to perform something new, to work in some new material in my show that I've been practicing on. So I said, sure, I'm going to get paid to practice my show in front of a live audience. So I sent out my little promo email blast to all my customers. A little over a couple of thousand people received my email informing them the time and date where I'm going to be. So Thursday comes around. I get there early, and this is a dive bar. It's not a nice place. I mean, there's handwritten signs out in front telling the rules and all kinds of stuff. You go inside, it's really not a great place. And my first thought is, one of my high-end customers has already sent me an email saying, "Jamie, I'm on my way. I'm coming out to see the show. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm bringing some friends." Now, this is a customer that I charge a lot of money to perform their events. So I quickly text this customer and I let her know, "Hey, Stephanie, this is not really the best of environments, and you may not want to come after all." But she didn't receive my text, and it was actually a good thing. She showed up. I apologized for the venue and the whole situation. She says, "Oh no, I have been to many dive bars. We're looking forward to it. We're going to have a really great time." At that point, I remembered I need to adjust my attitude. This is not a dive bar. This is not a practice session. I'm here performing as if these people paid a ton of money, as if these were my fans. These are people that are really paying to come see magic. And I adjusted my attitude, and guess what? The show went exceptionally well. And in the audience, afterwards, I spoke to a woman who turned out to be an event planner. And she said, "I plan all these events all the time, and you were so fantastic. I need to get your contact information." So boom, right there, another new avenue for making more money because I adjusted my attitude for that whole situation. One more, let me tell you about another event, another party that happened to me about a couple of months ago. Okay, so here's the setup. I'm in a country club. I'm walking up. It's a really nice venue. The customer has told me there will be some children here, but I want you to focus your show on the adults. There'll only be a small handful of children at this event. And so I arrive. It turned out there was a lot more people than she expected, and a lot more quantity of children than she expected. So right off the bat, I've got probably 40 children that are sitting at my feet ready to see some magic, with the original intent of most of my magic should be focused for the adults and maybe only do one or two things for the children at all. So I had to reassess the situation. I told my contact, my customer, I said, "Hey, obviously things are a little different. We have a lot more children in place. The environment was tough. It was a long rectangular shaped room, and I was up against the long wall in front of the buffet tables. The buffet table's right behind me. I've got all this stuff going on. Now, to make things even tougher, overhead on the sound system, music is being piped into the room. It's background music that they're playing overhead speakers. It sounds pretty good, but I asked the people that work, the staff members at the country club, I said, "Hey, can you turn the music off for the show?" "Sure, no problem." And they did. They turned the music off, but lo and behold, right before I'm introduced, the music turns right back on. So now I've got some background music coming from above that's kind of distracting, but what can you do? It's showtime. You're already being introduced. It's already set and done. I could have the attitude of, I got all these children up front. I'm in a bad situation. I got the buffet table behind me. Music is being piped in. It's nothing seems to be going right. But I changed my attitude, and I said, you know what? Again, no matter how tough this situation is, these people deserve the best that I can provide for them. Now, before the show started, I had a young child around 12, 13 years old came up to me and my props and was trying to go through my boxes and stuff. I mean, you're right there. It's very accessible. And so he's like, oh, can I play this? Can I see this? Can I see that? I'm like, excuse me. Then I had to really bite my tongue and remember, this is a customer. This is my customer's child. I have to be nice to them. So I said, you know what? Everything is a big surprise that I have for you. So I don't want you to see what it is just yet. And so I kind of brushed him off as easily as I could. And then later on in the show, when I needed to volunteer, he was the first guy I brought up front to assist me with a trick, to allow him to get all his energy out and get it done and over with. Now, at the end of my show, the little boy's name was Alex. I smiled. I looked at him and said, "Hey, Alex, thanks for helping out. I really do appreciate it." His dad was standing next to him. His dad says, "Oh, you were wonderful. Hey, Alex is having a bar mitzvah coming up pretty soon, and in a couple of years, and I'd love to get your business card." So, boom, there it goes, a business card being handed out to a parent who wants to hire me. Again, adjust that attitude no matter what the circumstances you're performing in. It doesn't matter. You have to give them your best. Change your attitude. So I hope this little chat with you, a little discussion, has opened up your eyes and your thoughts about how can I adjust my attitude. See what works for you. Again, fun, cranked up music for me on the way to a venue is a great way to get me in a mindset of ready to have a really good time. So let me know in the comments below on what works for you and what you've done to overcome a really bad environment or situation using a really good attitude. I want to know. We're going to read those comments in the next episode. So I really appreciate your feedback. So don't forget to like the video and make a comment. And of course, by all means, subscribe to the channel. This way you're notified when future episodes are coming out. The little bell down below will notify you as soon as the episode is available. In the last episode, we talked about what to do when you're asked to perform magic at a moment's notice. And so let's see, Steve Haberman writes in, "Hey Jamie, I do agree with you that you should be able to perform at all times and have business cards to hand out. This should be a no-brainer, but you wouldn't believe how many magicians and other entertainers I run into don't even carry business cards." And that's a really good point. In fact, one of the upcoming episodes, we're going to discuss business cards. A comment from William Page writes in, "That titled is the cool line that Ricky Jay would say in his card-throwing routine on the Johnny Carson talk show, and on NBC, Doug Henning, Magic, and I think on CBS, The Magic of David Copperfield." And I guess what he's referring to is my tagline of "Dance, Monkey, Dance." So thank you, William. Thanks for those comments. Also, we have David Haynes writes in, "Jamie, well done. Thanks for giving back to the magic community. Generally, I'm not a fan of magic apps because they usually look too technical, as if the phone did the magic and the magi took the credit. However, I love Digital Force bags so much that I just purchased it." He goes on with some more information. So David, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your comments. And let me know how the app worked for you. I really want to hear how it worked in your performances. One more comment here. Let's read one more from one of my consistent commenters, and that comes from Eric Stevens. Eric Stevens writes in, "I think that it's important to be prepared at all times, but it doesn't mean you should be performing at all times. Not every situation is appropriate for magic on the fly, even if somebody asks you to do magic. In those kinds of circumstances, I will sometimes smile and say, I might just show you something after whatever the event is. This creates suspense without taking attention away from whatever is already going on. That's a good point, Eric, because not all situations might be ideal or in the best light to be performing magic. You may be a guest at a wedding where the focus is on the bride and groom. Somebody says, "Oh, you're a magician. Show me some magic." You don't want to take away the spotlight from the bride and groom. That might be one possible scenario. So, Eric Stevens, thanks for your comments, and thank you for being consistent of writing a comment on each and every episode. Please do type me a comment below about what you have experienced with your attitude in performing magic. Maybe you had a bad attitude. Maybe you had a bad situation happen to you and it affected your performance. I want to hear about it. So send me your comments, and I hope to read those and learn from you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And don't forget to hit the like button down below. Thanks.